An SDG&E worker who hit and killed a man with his work truck and then left the scene will not face any jail time.
And new at 7, we've just uncovered the links that defendant went to cover up his crime. 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina is now live in El Cajon with that. Steve,
the prosecutor said here today that neighbors said they saw him hide the truck in the backyard and he was washing it for the very first time ever. A tearful Hector Hoyt reflecting on his actions last January. He struck and killed a homeless man on a dark El Cajon street that night. Not his fault, but he fled the scene, therefore guilty of hit and run. Then he tried to cover it up.
His neighbors saw him for the very first time ever park his SDG&E vehicle in the backyard, concealing it from the street, something he never does, washing that vehicle.
Dozens of people came to court to support Hoyt, who worked for SDG&E for decades.
If you're here to support Hector Hoyt, would you please stand? These are friends, family, co-workers, neighbors.
Hoyt was moved to tears. Judge Laura Hallgren noted that Hoyt was not at fault nor impaired at the time, but he made a very bad decision in leaving the scene. She sentenced him to 6 months of electronic monitoring and 20 days of community service.
All I've been hearing from him is closure. He was crying quite a bit today. I think he's happy that he's not going into custody, and I think that he's very proud of all of his friends.
The Hoyt family was in the headlines earlier this year for another reason. Son Harley was one of the students aboard a college tour bus that exploded and caught fire after a head-on collision with a FedEx truck in Central California. 10 died in that inferno. Harley is seen here in an emotional reunion days later. Hoyt would not go on camera afterward, but he did tell me that it was brutal the last several months, and he's glad that this weekend, on Friday, his son will be coming home. Live in El Cajon, Steve Fiorina, 10 News.